I only believe what I can see. You can't see oxygen. You can't see various other elements, but you know that they exist because they're on a periodic scale, right? But you can't see that. All the gas-related ones, you can't visually see. Let's be honest. If we apply that to a lot of things, you're gonna have to give up believing in a lot of things.
Like, we all believe in something.
Yeah. That's a weird thing to have faith in. You don't have faith that there's a source of being of all things, but you have faith that we can all come together collectively and overthrow the governmental power here.
Well, it takes a lot of faith.
That's a lot of faith. That's a lot of faith.
I think we good right here. Follow me, known to stand on all my father's business. Nepotism, blood ties to receive the blessing. Crossing out the lies, let me know if you can see deception. Learn a lesson, wake them up, this the Great Commission. Yes, sir, the Great Commission. Show the people what they missing, peace and many blessings. Wake them up, teach, show them what they missing. Peace and many blessings, this the Great Commission.
Right, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I've seen you guys on the street forever. I've never stopped by to ask anything. I just see you guys. I was like, you know what, man? I got some time. Let me go see what they're doing, man.
What's your ethnicity?
What's my
ethnicity?
Latino.
Latino? Oh, all praises, right?
Yeah.
Like your father's Latino? Like his father's Latino?
Is it again?
Like your father's a Latino man too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So what we out here to tell our people, the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like you say you're Latino, so you fit on the Hispanic version, the Hispanic part of that. We're out here to tell our people that we're the Israelites.
Okay.
There's a reason why when you look throughout history, we go through certain things and other people don't, right? Like as far as like, think about how so-called white men go through. Like when they go through like white man, woman, or child, the type of luxuries they have is because they got it off of the back of us, right? And they don't have to deal with certain things. Like when they get pulled over, they can hop out of the car, start swinging on the cop, and the cop is like, I don't want to have to do anything. I don't want to have to like, but with us, you see, as soon as we hop out of the car, we get punched in the face, shot. The reason why that is because these people on the sign, Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we made a covenant with God. Right, in the ancient days, we made a covenant with God that we will listen to every word you say. And when we don't listen to God, he brings his curses on us. Like us being shot, like all the things I put on the sign right here. Us being shot, us being segmented in certain places where people can run inside your house and take your wife and beat you. Like the same thing that happened to black people over here is the same thing that happened to y'all before us. Right? The reason why all that's happening is because we don't listen to God. Watch this, hit Deuteronomy 28:15.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. And it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
Hearken means to listen. If you don't want to listen to God, go ahead.
To observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So since you don't want to listen to God, all these curses that he's about to name, this whole chapter is just about curses. Like it's when you get to verse 15 on down to finishing it. All these curses are going to come upon you and overtake you because you don't want to listen to God. Look at the next one. Watch this.
Verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So cursed shall you be in the city. Where do you see Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans at in Dallas? For the majority part. Where do you see us at? We in the hoods, we in the barrios, we in the, like Oak Cliff, Pleasant Grove. If you go over there, you're going to see us. Other people, for the most part, you're not going to see unless they passing through. But that's where we live. And the worst parts, the parts of town that have the worst reviews, that has the worst repute or reputation, that's where we stay at because we don't want to listen to God. We're in that position. Hit that next part.
Verse 17.
No, hit the second half of that.
Salah. Talking about 16, right?
Yeah.
Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed shalt thou be in the field.
Now, prior to 2025, right? Remember how I talked about the same thing that happened to black people happened to Hispanics too? About the conquistadors coming over here. They put y'all on plantations. They put y'all, they rape some of them. They force them to conform to that right there, to a Christ that's a white man, which doesn't make sense for the actual geography of the land. Like how is Christ supposed to be a white man, but you look at the geography of that land, everybody over there's dark. Like that don't make no sense. And the reason why that is because these curses. Watch this, hit verse 24. 64.
Verse 64. The Lord shall scatter thee among all people,
Yeah.
from one end of the earth even unto the other.
Yeah.
And there thou shalt serve other gods.
And so what?
There shalt serve other gods,
Yeah.
which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone.
Even wood and stone, right? So the Lord said you will serve other gods. So when the conquistadors came over here, they didn't know this. They got forced to know this. That's why, like, you see a lot of Latinos, they're Catholic. The reason why that is because what we just read. You're going to serve other gods, even wood and stone. When you go in these iglesias and certain Catholic, don't they got a different name for their churches? Catholic,
I'm not Catholic. I'm not religious at all.
yeah, you're not religious at all, but yeah, I was gonna say, like, they got another name for their churches. I forgot what it's called. But you go in there, they have a lot of stone statues, and they have a lot of wooden crosses everywhere. And when you go in there, you have to pretty much bow to those. That's just their whole little. They got a little thing called sacraments. When you go in, you got to do like Hail Marys for this stone description of whoever, and then this wooden description of whoever. That's because of this.
Yeah.
Like all that, it can't be a coincidence, right? We have to fit the people in this book. Like we really could just go through every one of these verses and we can see it with us, not without even interpolating it. Like, you know what I mean? So how do you feel about that? Because I've been doing a lot of talking. How do you feel about that?
Well, let me make sure I understood what you said first of all before I say like what my opinion is.
Yeah.
From what I understood, you saying that everybody here, you and I, are being punished.
Well, we're God's chosen people, and we agreed to a covenant with Him. Like He would give us rules, structure, laws, a whole culture, right? If we choose to not do that, He sends us curses.
Okay.
But if we choose to do it, He puts us above everybody else.
So you're saying that we're cursed by God
Since we don't listen to Him, yeah.
because we're not obeying Him.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And because we're not obeying Him, I want to make sure that I was.
Yeah, I know.
Because we're not obeying Him, then we're living in neighborhoods that are not up to par with the rest of
Like,
white society.
Not just that, but just our whole culture is a death culture. We're in a position that's just worse than everybody else, right? It's not. Yes, the cities, and yes, how we look at each other, but all of that in totality. Like our plight is different than everybody else's. That's what I mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I understood what you mean.
Yeah, I know. That's what we out here for. We out here for the reason.
I don't know if I agree with that. No, actually, I don't agree with that.
What you mean? Which part?
I don't know, man. I just don't agree that God. The reason that a lot of us struggle, the reason that a lot of us, when you say like police officers are chasing us and all that stuff, I don't blame it on God. I don't blame it on our wickedness. I don't blame it on that. Me, it's more of a structural thing. It's more based on the economic system that we live in, as opposed to religion, as opposed to like this idea of if I behave good, God will bless me. If I behave bad, God will curse me. So I just don't agree with that idea.
Well,
but I do agree with the idea that there is obviously you can see people struggling. Obviously, for either racial reasons or for even today gender stuff like that. I would even say just today, just because you see there's in Honduras where I was born, there's black Hondurans. Yeah. And they're suffering there.
Yeah. Because they're Israelites.
Yeah. And I would even say they're being harassed because they live in very profitable lands. Their lands are so valuable, and their lands are being taken over by U.S. foreign companies. Who want to make those into like the city of Miami, who want to make those into like Rio de Janeiro, really hot touristy spots, instead of just letting them be their native, indigenous. The black people in Honduras are native,
and people are just coming from all over and just coming and trying to take it over.
Well, there's a Canadian guy.
Yeah, what are you doing there?
Well, he's a porn king. He used to like sell porn videos.
Yeah.
He's taking over their land, and he is basically using private military to go and take the black Hondurans away from their land. Their communal land.
They're coming from Canada, and then.
So what I'm saying is I don't see that as because the black Hondurans are not obeying God.
Well,
I see that as a structural thing that I see, like literally. That's not like a spiritual
we would
thing.
technically be saying the same thing, because what I'm saying is like how just how you try to say earlier about how you're trying to see if you're paying attention to what I'm saying. You're saying it's not necessarily God, but it's a systematic structure that's against them.
Yes.
Correctly?
Yes.
What I'm saying is the Lord is making that systematic structure against us because we don't listen to him.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, like, hit verse, you're still in Deuteronomy? Yeah, watch this. Watch this. Let me show you something.
Come, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy God with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things.
So like I said before, right? I told you that we made a covenant with the Lord God back a long time ago, the time of Moses, that all the words that he wants us to do, we would do that. So he's saying, since you didn't want to do those things, you want to be like all the rest of the nations that are around about you. Watch this.
Come, verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
Yeah, so you shall serve your enemies. Since you don't want to serve the Lord, now you're going to serve these other people who you love so much, right?
In hunger and in thirst.
In hunger and in thirst, right? So you're going to have to go to them for food. That's their system. You're going to have to now interact with their system, since you didn't want to deal with my system. My system, you would have had the abundance of all things, but now you have to interact with their system, which is against you, like we just talked about. Continue.
Come. And in nakedness.
For clothes, go ahead. Since you didn't want to listen to me. Watch this, continue.
Come. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Not only that, you're going to be captive to him. A yoke of iron means, like, you put a yoke is something is something you put on like an animal to keep it from moving anywhere, to put it into captivity, to confine it to a space. That's talking about captivity. So not only will you have to interact with their system, you will be in captivity to them, which happened to the Hondurans, which happened to black people, which happened to Hispanic people. Watch this, continue.
Come. Until he have destroyed thee.
Yeah.
The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
So from where?
From far.
So Canadians coming from Canada to Honduras, right? Watch this, hit this again.
Come. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far.
Yeah.
From the end of the earth.
Yeah.
As swift as the eagle flieth.
Yeah.
A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Continue.
A nation of fierce countenance.
Yeah.
Which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor of the to the young.
So they don't even care. The Lord's going to send a nation of people from far away from where you stay at to come take you. They're not going to care how old you are. They're not going to care if you're old or if you're a young kid. We're going to get y'all up out of there to do basically what they're doing to the Gazans over there. Like, you know what Israel's doing to Gazans, basically forcing them out of their land and whatsoever. You're saying that's what's happening to the Hondurans. That's because of this. That's what I'm saying. Like, the system, like, I get what you mean about a system, about how there's a construct against them, but the Lord is making this construct because we don't listen to him. Yeah. That's all it is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I mean, I think the foundations where we have our ideas.
Yeah, they're pretty much similar.
Your idea is that all of us come from, we were chosen people.
Yes, sir.
Me, since I'm not religious, I'm like, I'm not worried about the religious stuff right there. I'm more focused on the present of the actual suffering that people are doing. I'm not worried about the spiritual.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say it's more or less like a religious type of thing, because it's like when people pick up the Bible, we have Christians, they make it a religious thing. What we're saying is, when you see this book, this Bible is a collection of books, this is our culture. You see things that happen with the Israelites, you see the laws that the Lord wants us to walk in, you see the prophecies going to happen in the future. This is what our culture is. It's an ethnocentric thing, instead of anybody can pick this up and then do whatever they want with it. It's not that.
I don't know, man.
One more thing. Now, when you're dealing with the present, one thing that we have to deal with, outside of having to deal with all the rest of the nations or races around about us, we have something inside of us that makes us sick, right? There's something inside of us who will see somebody who looks just like us and want to harm them. I want to do any type of ill will toward them, but the same people who's oppressing us, we love, right? If we keep these laws, right, in the present, right now, that will stop a lot of that. Let's talk about like black on black crime or Hispanic on Hispanic crime. If we kept thou shalt not kill, that's gone, right? The poverty that we have, if we use what Leviticus 25 and 35 is talking about, as far as taking care of the homeless or the impoverished of our people, we don't have homelessness. All of this affects the present, right? All this, like thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, taking care of the homeless people, taking care of the widows and the fatherless. If we did all of that, we would be way better and more unified as a people. That helps us in the present.
Well, I think there's a system, there's an economic system that that is related, maybe not so much with the religious part of God, but that has the same ideas of helping each other out. That would be communism. You know, communism is those ideas of helping each other out and doing best for society without the religious aspects. You know.
Communism?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, at the end of the day, I think in capitalism focuses on the individual, right? How are we doing as you as an individual and not worry so much about the group? Whereas communism focuses on society. How can everybody have, that doesn't mean that everybody is going to be wealthy or whatever. It just means that at the very least, everybody's going to have the basic human right of public hospitals, of quality public hospitals, quality health, quality education.
Who has that?
You know,
what nation? What communist nation are you gonna talk about?
No, there's not really a communist nation. There's socialist nations right now, but there's not really a communist because there's not really. Now the idea would be to reach that level of communism or socialism. Right now, you have a lot of countries that are socialism, and I think sort of like what you said. I like the idea that you said, which they're gonna trick us into loving our oppressor. And
we trick ourselves.
Right. And there's I would even go further than just tricking ourselves. I would say that they are manipulating.
I can say that too. They did that in slavery.
They have the power of today in our century. They have who owns all the media, right?
Jewish people.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And even Malcolm X said that the media would have us hating the victim and loving the right? I agree 100% with Malcolm X said right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely whoever owns the media can manipulate. Whoever publishes the school books can manipulate us to whatever they think. You know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think we agree on a lot of things except the foundation.
What about okay? So do you believe in a higher power?
So socialism teaches us that what we see is what's real. This is what's real. This is real. This is what's real. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant. Irrelevant whether the idea of the higher power, whether it be in the Bible, is there a spiritual world? Of course, there's a spiritual world. Does the spiritual world that I believe in agree with the spiritual world that you're talking about? Like
well, I mean, like. So I'm asking you specifically.
Is there an individual being? Like
is there like a source of all things?
Like an individual being? Man, I would go back to what the Lenca people in Honduras say. The Lenca people are like predate the Mayas like 1,000 years. So they're like 1,200 years before Christ. They're connected with nature. They're connected with earth and the land, the air, the sun. They're connected with that spiritual, and they realize that there is. They realize that there is a spiritual world that we can't see, that we can't. There's socialism will tell you that there is no spiritual world. I'm like, well, there is a spiritual world. There is a spiritual world that we can't see. Like even right now, there might be people like things around us that we can't see, right?
Yeah.
But whether I agree, whether it's the same definition as what's in that Bible, I would be like, nah, possibly, maybe not, maybe, you know. So to answer your question, do I believe in like, is there one source, whether it be Zeus, whether it be like the sun god, like
there's something,
or something? Is there something? I would be more agnostic, more than.
So you would think there is one, but you don't know, like what to call it, or.
Yeah. Well, I would say there is. I'm not there to a point where I'm going to say 100%. There is no individual being, right? Because if you look, regardless of culture, black, white, brown. As human beings, we've always wanted to worship something outside of us, right? Always. There's always been that connection of like, there's something outside of us, whether it be through extraterrestrials, whether it be God of the Bible, or whether it be some other God like the early Egyptians did, right? They had like whatever the Egyptians worshiped.
They had a pantheon. It was like Ra and the whole bunch.
Whether it be the Greeks who had a ton of gods, the Romans, the Asians had their god. So we have even today, there's this belief that there's something outside of us as human beings, which we're limited, right? We're limited in knowledge.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not finite beings that have all the knowledge, right?
But what side of that do you stand on, though?
Right now, man, I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about, like, what are we doing as people? Because whether I believe or doesn't believe, it's not going to change the situation that we're in.
Well,
that's
I mean, the reason why I'm asking that so I can relate better, because it's like, if you don't believe there's a source, or if you don't believe there's like a I'm still going to do good. I know, I got you, but we're not there yet, though. I'm saying, if you don't believe there's a source, I would change my methodology of what I'm saying. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
No, what I said was I'm agnostic.
So just to make it clear, you believe there is one, a higher being of some sorts, but you don't know if it's either this or that.
One. When you say one, you're limiting to just one being.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that agnosticism could include just maybe that one being. It could include a multiple of beings. Agnosticism means that there is a spiritual world, but I'm just not there. I wouldn't be theistic.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't be monotheistic. Monotheistic mening just one God.
Yeah.
Like what you're saying.
No, we're monolatrious.
Meaning what?
Monolatrious means you believe there's other deities. Other deities, but you only serve one deity.
Would it be polytheist?
No, polytheism means you worship multiple deities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, mono meaning
one.
Monotheistic. We have different definitions right there, but.
Well, no, because I'm saying monotheism
is
is like how Christians say, though, there's only one God. Yeah, but their same book where they get that one God mentions other gods. Okay. But the people of this book only serve one God, right? So they're monolatry. Latry means to worship, like religiously worship, right? So they only worship one God, but they acknowledge the existence of other gods, like other nations.
Oh, I get that. I get that. No, man, I wouldn't do that, man. At this point in my life, man, I grew up in the church. At this point in my life, man, to me, just to answer your question, man, there isn't a one supreme being like the Greeks, the worship, and the Egyptians, whatever. It's just a spiritual world, man. It's just a spiritual world that we see, we don't see. But that being said, my foundation is different because I don't base what's happening in society with the African American community here in the U.S. or the Afro-Latino community in Latin America or the African community in Africa was based on what? Hey, you know what? God is cursing us. I'm basing that on a racist system that exists.
Well, the reason why I say like one would have to think it has to be some kind of divine thing that kept them having power over us.
We could,
because think about at that time there was I believe it's like maybe one slave owner to 10 at least in comparison, and we was already physically stronger, and the only thing that got us guns, we could have outpowered them at any moment. Like, to be honest, like not just us, not just black people, the same thing with Hispanics and like the Hondurans and the various other people who we claim are Israelites. We could have done that at any moment, but we didn't. And there has to be there has to be a divine entity making it like that.
Possibly.
Because
agnosticism will allow that possibility. Agnosticism will allow that, but you're telling me to be a possibility.
Yeah, and on the side of there has to be a power then. Agnosticism would be like, there has to be a God doing that if there's something doing that.
It has to be. It would say it would allow a possibility.
Yeah, of a power doing that, though.
It doesn't have to be like a specific power.
Yeah.
But like I said, like you said, I think we agree on this fractal system. But as far as the foundation of whether
it's a God or not,
whether the reason that we have all this systematic oppression is based on our individual behavior as individuals or as a society, that's where we differ.
Yeah, but let me tell you why we stand on the side we stand on. All those things, as far as that system that we're talking about, I can read here in something that was written thousands of years before right now. Like all the things as far as the system that we have right here, this already existed here. It says this is going to happen to you, right? Everything, the curse in the city, curse in the field, the slave ships that would happen, somebody taking your wife, every other people is going to be above you no matter what. All these specific things, all the intricacies of our system that we're in right now is already said prior to that. And it's to the point where it can't be a coincidence because these are all itemized things. Ain't nobody, like, I can see where if somebody say like something roundabout, like, say like, I wrote a list of things down, the specific things that has to happen, right? And then like, I don't tell you what those specific things are, right? Things that's like, it can't be a coincidence. Yeah, it can't be, oh, I'm just writing something vague. All of that happens to you in your life, right? If I wrote all those things before it happened, does that make me a prophet? I'm asking you, would that make me a prophet?
Maybe, yeah, possibly, yeah.
That's how we see with the Bible.
Yeah.
That's how we see with God's.
Well, I hear you. Like I said, it goes back to what I'm saying. Our foundations are different. Our foundations are different. You're basing your authority based off what that book says.
No. We do it off of the power that it has. Because when you look at it, like all the things that we've read, even before all the things we read as far as the curses and what would befall the Israelites, science can't comprehend how they got this information. We couldn't comprehend how they got this information. Nobody has an explanation how farmers thousands of years ago got told this would happen to a specific people, and it's being played out with us.
Well, let me ask you this. Moving beyond because I think we're going to disagree on the foundations either way. But let me ask you this. Since going back to what you said was saying that, so we're cursed and we're living through all this harsh conditions. According to you, what should we do as people to stop living under those conditions? Keep those commandments. That's it. Do what he told us to do. That's it. Yeah, we never tried it before. Like that's one thing that be killing me. Like, cause like they say, you'll say like, what should we do? We've tried Christianity. That ain't it. We've tried being a Muslim. That ain't it. We've tried being Moors, Pan-Africans. None of that is panned out for us, right? So we're going to try to keep the commandments. That's what's going to work for us. The thing that God told us to do from the very beginning of this book. Right? Yeah. But what about the people who don't want, like myself, who don't want to live under those?
I mean, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for you, bro.
See that, it all goes back.
But the reason why I say that, you see how, are you keeping track with anything as far as geopolitics?
Yeah.
So you know about how Trump just had a meeting with Vladimir Putin yesterday, right? To avoid what? What are they trying to avoid?
I'm assuming World War III.
World War III.
Right.
That's already mentioned in the Bible.
Right.
Russia being a key player in that, right?
My opinion is the worst. Russia isn't evil. That's my opinion. Like what we've been taught.
I mean,
Russia's evil.
they don't have to. Well, I mean, they don't have to be evil.
Well, I think to me, the greatest evil that we see, like it goes back to me, that my authority comes from what we see.
No, I mean, well, I get that, but hold on first. I'm building to a point when I say that, right? They don't have to be evil. They don't have to be good. But what I'm saying is, it's coming to a point where you're going to see World War III with Russia, with all these various other nations. The Bible talks about that, right? And only people who are going to get saved out of that are the people who are keeping these commandments. Right. It literally says that. Yeah. And I can't see Russia being a main player. We see Russia doing what they're going to do. They couldn't come up with no type of deal. You say you keep up with geopolitics. Trump couldn't make a deal with Putin to try to stop that Ukraine war, which is going to spill out into other stuff. Well, he couldn't stop that.
It's the biggest country in the world. So whether it's in the Bible or not, it's the biggest country in the world. So it's going to be regardless if it's the Bible or not.
But it has them specifically, though.
Well, the Bible it doesn't mention Russia specifically.
It says it talks about the Medes, and that's the land they occupied.
Right. Well, you can interpret it that way. It doesn't mention Russia. It doesn't mention Russia.
Yeah, because they didn't exist yet.
Right, exactly.
But they exist in that land.
Exactly.
Though.
So you can interpret it as Russia.
Yeah.
Which is that's anybody's interpretation. Mm-hmm. But that being said, what we have in common is that both you and I, we don't want World War III.
Oh, I want World War III.
Right.
I can't wait for that.
Because why?
Because that's when we get delivered.
Right. From what? From our earthly
being delivered from this land right here, where we had all this happen, to go to our original land, where it be land of milk and honey.
Right. No, I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about now. See,
well, you can't save America, though. Like the thing is, what you're talking about is, if we had the option that America could turn around. Trump has already signed a thing during the Genius Act to back the dollar behind cryptocurrency, because the dollar is being so faulty around everybody else. Everybody's dumping U.S. Treasury notes.
You and I individually may not be able to stop the U.S., but there are other countries that we need to support who are trying to stop it.
I'm good on that.
We gotta have faith, man. We gotta have faith.
I don't have faith in that. I can't do it.
We gotta be people of faith and believe that other countries who are tired of having a one world power say, hey, you know what? We're not trying to go to war. We're trying to have a peaceful world, and we're trying to have a multipolar world where everybody's voice is heard instead of just the U.S. empire.
9 and 7. But let me show you something real fast. There's going to be a whole new world order, but it's not going to be us coming, like Americans coming together to overthrow the government. We're not going to see that. Like, they have too much power to shut all this down whenever they want. And we see that happening with DC right now. But give me Daniel.
I saw the night visions, and behold, with the clouds of heaven, there came one like the Son of Man.
This is talking about Christ, right? The Son of Man, talking about Christ, the human one, right? This is not him. This is a black man. Christ is a black man. Continue.
I saw the night visions, and behold, with clouds of heaven, there came one like the Son of Man. And he came to the Ancient of Days, and was presented before him.
Continue.
And to him was given dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all peoples, nations, and languages should serve him.
Yeah, so this is going to be that new world order when Christ comes back, destroys this, have this land destroyed, and destroys all the rest of the Gentiles who want to come up against us. And then he's going to be given dominion over this entire planet. But watch this. That you should want this to happen, because watch when he's in power. Hit this.
This is Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2.
Yeah.
And it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains.
Yeah. Israel above every other government on the earth. Go ahead.
And shall be exalted above the hills. And all nations shall flow into it. And many people shall go and say, come ye, let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the God of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways.
Then we're going to teach the rest of the nations that haven't perished in his destruction and not perished into subjection, right? To the point to where they're going to come and learn of our wisdom. Because throughout these law, statutes, and commandments, the type of knowledge that we've been given throughout antiquity all the way up to this point is knowledge the rest of them don't have. And throughout that knowledge, it sustained us when we kept it. But when we didn't keep it, we end up in captivity. But this type of wisdom shows us how to live first and foremost as civilly, as a governmental structure, and just generally love each other, right? The rest of the nation's laws, they don't have that, nor does it teach that. Hit this.
God. And he will teach us of his ways.
Yeah.
And we will walk in his paths, for out of Zion shall come forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem.
Continue.
And he shall judge among the nations, and shall rebuke many people.
Now this is the key part. We should judge amongst the nations, as far as when we have our rulership over in Israel, like when we kick out those people out there pretending to be Israelites, when we have that land again, from the Nile to the Euphrates, everybody's going to come to us, and we're going to judge between these nations. We're going to have power over them. Watch this. Continue.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
Yeah.
And their spears into pruning hooks.
They're weapons of warfare. Continue.
Nation shall not lift up a sword against nation.
Yeah.
Neither shall they learn war anymore.
War ends. When we get the rule, when we're not subject to the elements, not subject to these people, not subject to their system, we're brought back into our land, there's going to be world peace at that moment.
That's right.
That's the type of new world order we're looking for. Because anything where any of these people are in charge of it, right? Even you, to be honest, any type of governmental structure is doomed to fail, because people's minds are on what they can see now, right? Because just let's observe that type of ideology, right? I only believe what I can see. You can't see oxygen, right? You can't see various other elements, but you know that they exist because they're on a periodic scale, right? But you can't see that. All the gas-related ones, you can't visually see. Let's be honest. If we apply that to a lot of things, you're going to have to give up believing in a lot of things.
Like I said, I think we all exhibit faith. Like I said, I'm a man of faith that I have a different faith system than you. We all believe in something,
Yeah.
you know. The idea though.
That's a weird thing to have faith in. You don't have faith that there's a source of being of all things, but you have faith that we can all come together collectively and overthrow the governmental power here.
It takes a lot of faith.
That's a lot of faith. That's a lot of faith.
Let me tell you something, man. I didn't believe it too, man. Like I said, man.
Because like I said, when America's going to meet its end, nobody's going to be able to live here anymore. Like, that's going to be nuclear fallout. So when America's destroyed, you're going to have to be somewhere else. That's what I'm telling you. Like,
you're expecting World War III. What I'm saying is that we should be advocating for no World War III. So back in the 1960s, I don't know if you guys remember, there was threat of nuclear war in the 1960s.
Yeah.
That stopped. It stopped.
Yeah, because it wasn't the time.
There was a threat of nuclear war closer than it is today. Literally, there was nuclear bombs being planted in Cuba, 90 minutes away from Florida. You know, so there was obviously so the threat of nuclear war has been around. That has been quiet. That we've been silenced not to think about it, but it's always been around. It's always been around.
Yeah.
That we've been told, hey, you know what? Hey, everything's peaceful now because the Cold War is over.
But that's the that's the equivalent of saying like, yeah, it's been around, but we've never seen it, so therefore it's not going to happen.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
That's not to worry about it.
Give me Ecclesiastes 8 and 11.
Wait. 'Cause I've heard a lot. I heard a lot.
The ideology, we've heard nuclear war is going to happen, and it never happened. That means it's not going to happen. It's the craziest thing I've ever heard of. Right. It's absolutely. How many times? That's like. I was waffling back and forth if that's an Israelite or not. That is an Israelite. That's that Zephaniah. That's that Zephaniah 1 and 11. Yeah. Hit that again. That's exactly what that is. Israel will sit there and think nothing is going to happen to them. Israel will have the prophets around their corner, teaching them in Bethlehem and Bethlehem, Ephrata, various other places, and say, "Oh no, we're not going to go into captivity." And then out of nowhere, they're going to wake up one day, Babylon. Oh, here's Babylon. Up here's Persia. Up here's the Grecians. Up here's the Romans. Right? You thought that would never ever happen, but lo and behold, God is true. Hit that again.
This is the book of Zephaniah, chapter 1 and verse 12.
Bring it out.
At that time, I will search Jerusalem with lamps.
So it's at that time. All of this is going to happen on a specific time. This man's talking about we heard about nuclear bombs and nothing ever happened, because there's a specific time. There's going to be a specific time or an appointed time where the Lord is going to look for, he's going to search Jerusalem with lanterns. Read that part again.
At that time, I will search Jerusalem with lamps.
Yeah.
And I will punish the men who are complacent.
So the people who are complacent in the way everything's going along, because I mean, every time I get into a conversation with a nigga who wants to talk about we got to overthrow the government, we got to come together and overthrow the government, when you look at what they're doing in their life, they act like the regular American. Right. You're not doing this. You're not propagating this. Right? You know why? Because you be in Facebook jail or IG jail or whatever. Right. You just go all through life as a regular, typical American. but when you see us, you have to be like, oh, we got to overthrow the government. What we got to do? Oh, we got to overthrow the government. Oh, we got to do that. How you gonna do that? With communism.
That's over.
With communism.
Right.
Trump just put unscalable walls around the White House. What are y'all niggas gonna do? Y'all gonna put some kind of cheat code like jump up and get a tank, and then you gonna take the That's what I'm saying. Like, niggas be like it's so illogical the way these motherfuckers be thinking, bro. It be killing me. But the Lord is gonna come a time where the Lord searches through Jerusalem, him being part of that, meaning, right? There's going to come a time where the Lord, when he makes up his jewels, like it talks about in Malachi chapter 3, when he delivers his righteous people, he's going to search through all the people who have been wicked over here in America and burn their ass up in this war.
Right.
Go ahead.
Those who say in their heart, Yahweh will not do good, nor will he do ill.
Mm-hmm. Continue.
Their goods shall be plundered, and their houses laid waste.
Everything you have here in America will be destroyed. Just like how it was destroyed in Israel when Babylon came and took us over in the original context of this scripture. Hit this. Because he said like, oh, we've heard about nuclear war. That's never going to, we've always heard about it, but it's never going to happen.
Right.
Having that type of ideology will get you fucked up in the end times. Let's be honest. Hit this again.
This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. Because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily.
Because like the evil works America's been doing, it's been destroying the apples of the Most High God's eye. Right? We are that. By crucifying the body of Christ in the great city Babylon, which you read in Revelation 11, which is really destroying us, right? Putting us into captivity, oppressing the damn planet. That's their evil works, right? And the way that judgment that they're going to get has been delayed and been delayed and been delayed so that the rest of the prophecies can be fulfilled in their due times, right? So read this again.
because sentence against the evil work is not executed speedily.
Since that execution of that sentence, Revelation 18 about Babylon being burnt with fire, continue. Well, since that hasn't happened, continue.
Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Oh, you're set to do whatever the hell you want to do. Right. You fully set since America ain't got judged yet, so it must mean it's never gonna happen. It just means it's supposed to continue forever. Oh, let's say it, bro. Hit it. Continue.
Verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times, and his days be prolonged.
America's been doing evil for hundreds of
That's right.
hundreds of years, right? Their lives been prolonged. Continue.
Yet surely I know that it shall be well with them that fear God.
It's gonna be well with those people who fear God and what?
Which fear before Him.
Yeah.
But it shall not be well with the wicked.
It will not be what?
It shall not be well with the wicked.
And lo and behold, who rules Babylon? The Edomites, the so-called white man, the European man, the border of wickedness, the beginning, middle, and end of wickedness, right? That's who rules this place. It's not going to be well for America. That's what I'm trying to tell us, man. You think, oh, we're gonna destroy and rebuild, and we're gonna build, like what did Biden say? Build back better. We're gonna the BBB. We're gonna build back better after this place. No, y'all seen that? Seen that show or that video game Fallout? That's what America's gonna look like. I want you to build back better with communism. Then when y'all looking like Mad Max driving in some freaking driving in the desert and shit like that.